here on your lifestyle, leisure, and business platform. We give you an opportunity to also join the conversation as and when. I'm going to announce the phone lines later. But today we're talking about something that is very urgent, something that is emotional, and frankly, maybe overdue. Across Ghana, we see a quiet storm that is brewing, or one that is gripping the hearts and hopes of our young people, from sports prediction to online. Lotteries betting is gradually becoming part of the daily routine of many young people across the nation. And often it begins as a harmless thrill and then gradually spirals into something very deeper, an addiction that chips away at mental health, drains finances, and stalls long-term dreams. But why is betting so attractive for young people? And in this particular generation, has it always been the case, or this is something that is actually now coming up? What are the unseen costs of all of that? To help us make sense of all of these things, I have three amazing guests who are joining me, two in studio and then one over the phone lines. I have joining me in studio Elliot Nene Ayita. He is a youth advocate and change influencer. This is the first time I'm hearing change influencer. He's going to tell us what that means very soon. And also Stanislaus Nyako. He is a mental health advocate. He's also in studio with me. And then over the phone lines, I have Jessica Osei. She's a psychologist. She's a youth advocate as well, and the founder of Yishai Foundation. I hope I got that right. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you, Stanislaus.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah. Good to see the two of you. Now let me also hear from Jessica. Jessica, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making time to speak to us this morning. You're most welcome. All right, let's get into our conversation. And I'm going to start with you. Okay. So first of all, tell us, who's a change influencer before we get into it?
Okay, so I usually like to be very different. So I realized that, the youth of today, there's a lot of change that needs to happen, right? So I decided that, okay, I would be that change. That's why I said a change influencer. Hence, you see an influencer. So, because I have experienced a lot of things. Even this topic we're going to talk about, it's something that, if you don't try it, you can't talk about it.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So I feel like if I can change myself, I can find ways to influence other youth to also change. Because honestly, in this age, everything is about influencing.
Right.
How people buy stuff is influencing. What people wear is influencing. What people believe to be good. Honestly, our morals are changing based on what social media or influencers are showing online. You get it? Hence the change influencer.
Change influencer. Yeah. Interesting. So there are influencers for brands, but you have decided that you be an influencer.
To use myself as a case study to show people that you can actually intentionally build yourself, intentionally create, your future, intentionally create yourself into what you imagine. Yeah, I believe that when you dream it and you work towards it, you can.
What are some of the things you've done in the past, or some of the changes you've influenced?
Okay, so I'm going to say this. A lot of people know that, but growing up, how would I say? I've always had this leadership thing in me, but I took it for granted, honestly. And even in SHS, I lost my way. You get it? Yeah. So
we have a.
Yeah.
I can relate. Just go ahead.
I lost my way, and then so my peers were all ahead of me because everybody was going to uni, trying to make something of themselves, but I was like kind of laid back, sideline, like backtracked. Yeah. And then but then 5 years after SHS, right? After like hitting left and right and all of that, I decided that no, I have to do something about myself. So the first thing I did was immediately I entered university. I said that no, I am going to make something of myself in this uni. You get it? I'm going to do well in my academics. And after that, I am going to be somebody who's known in the whole school.
Wow.
So like people were thinking about how to get hostels and how to get slides and all of that. I was thinking about how I can be the SRC president of my school. And I did it.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, because from my first year, I intentionally planned everything. So I'll tell you, it's funny. So I missed my first class, and then I was like, okay, if I am to rise up, I have to, become a course rep. So this is something I say is very funny. So I think I have told a few people. So I walked into my class very late, dressed all smart, and then I intentionally wore shoes that make noise. So I was holding a bag like a lecturer, and I was just making like cool. You see that sound? Yeah, the sound. So there was a commotion in the class, and then immediately they saw me. Everybody just kept quiet because they thought it was a lecturer. So at that time they had a course rep already, but then I wanted to go for what I want.
Right.
So I just walked into the class, and then immediately everybody kept quiet. I walked to the podium, and I put the bag down.
That was bold.
Very bold. So I was like, I looked at everybody with a mean stare, and everybody was quiet for like 30 seconds. I was like, guys, relax. I am your course mate. Everybody started laughing, and then immediately I put in a bid that, I want to be a course rep. And the way I came in, people just liked me. And then immediately there was an election.
The charisma.
And then they'll push off the other person to be my assistant.
The one they had already
exactly. Yeah. So you see, from then I kept on doing things intentionally, going to programs, gaining exposure, things I was doing to achieve my goal. Yeah. So after that, there are a few things also that I've done, but then I think that is a major thing that has propelled me into what I am today. And then I always use that particular time as I intentionally worked for that. I built it for 3 years, and it wasn't easy, but because I had a good 3-year foundation, all those who came against me had no chance.
Wow. Yeah. Wow. Change influencer, Elliot. Anyway, great story. I mean, I can relate. I was SLC vice president. But which university were you in?
University of Professional Studies.
Oh, UPSC. Yeah, okay. UPSC. I was in University of Ghana. I was Stanislaus. Okay. It was my senior, right? Yeah, it was my senior. All right, good to see have all of you, and that was a very good a very good story. Well, let's get into the conversation this morning. We're talking about betting, gambling, and all of these stuff. Yeah. What do you think is actually making young people get into this? And I'm going to start with you, Elliot, because you are a youth advocate. Okay. You can speak for the young people, and you say if you don't even do it, you can't talk about it. It means you probably found yourself in that space. Tell us, what exactly is driving a lot of young people into this?
So I would say the first thing that I would note is young people are doing all of this because of, get rich quick. Do you get it? Everybody wants to be rich quick. Do you get it? That's the first thing. And second thing is peer pressure. You get it? And third thing is the betting companies are all in our face nowadays. And just like I said, change influencer. Right now, there are people influencing that. People that the youth look up to. Do you get it? They are influencing it and making it feel like it's an easy way out. And then youth, we want an easy way out.
Right.
Hence, you see our age, there's remote jobs. Everybody wants like an easy path. So basically, right, currently it's in their faces. Do you get it? And then, the poor state of the economy over the past few years exactly has also pushed students, youth, and people of our age to because as youth we would always find a way to come out, right? And then that's where these betting companies come in and then present these things as a savior,
right?
Do you get it? So I would say those are a few of the things that.
Stan, let me bring you into the conversation now. What do you think too? Do you think that these are the same things that are influencing, or do you have any of them to add?
Yeah, I'll just tie it into a psychology principle, classical conditioning, right? So classical conditioning tells us that when you repeatedly pair a stimuli and then something that is neutral with something that already elicits a response, you are going to get people following that path. So for example, like he said, they are using influential people now to advertise betting, right? So you see Real Madrid players doing adverts for Sporty TV. Automatically, I go like, okay, so Vasquez, Militao are all into sport betting. That's like a young person growing up. This is the mentality. I like Real Madrid, so I think I should like sports. I should like betting as well because they also bet. And so on and so forth. So that is one principle that they are using a lot. And most of these conversations are psychological if you think about it. They have figured a way to break into the human psyche, motivation, the brain's reward pathways. I think get into the conversation, more like to be thrown on those things. And because the human being wants what he wants, right? Like he said, get rich quick. There is a certain motivation for me to get rich. There's a way I can get rich. My brain is excited about the idea, so my body is on edge to get there. And so I continuously put in effort to get there. And that is always going to tie them into the betting addiction.
Yeah. But how widespread do you think the problem really is? And are we talking about enough? Stanislav?
So, yeah, this is very, very important. Recently, I watched a documentary on DWTV. It's a global something. So that documentary featured people in the UK, the US, and it was on gambling addiction. So the I don't know if it's a pandemic or I don't know. I think it's doing a lot of harm to people, right? So it goes from people. So in the documentary, stated that people's finances, like your salary, goes into it, and over there they give debit cards. Right, so you can get a debit card, which is not your money. Like money is like borrowed money.
Yeah.
So you get your borrowed money, and they invest it again into the betting company. And now the betting company knows the psychology that people are operating with. So even when they realize that the debit cards have been exhausted, then they give you a promo. So if you are, let's say, a patron, they give you maybe $100, $200 free bet. So you can just come back and then get your brain's reward pathways triggered again. So it means when you go inside and you exhaust the promo bet, you would want to reinvest capital into it. So I think it's the motivation, and then the get rich quick also. It's just there, and then it's eating into it's worldwide. And I think it's about time we started having this conversation and then looking for interventions tailored to at least halt the dopamine flow, and then get people to step back and say, yo, like, this is not going to do me any good long term. Yeah.
Do you think people don't know the things you're saying, and that is why they still get involved in betting?
So they may know, but there is something about the mind, right? If you get excited, that is like emotions over reason. Yeah, automatically when you are very excited, it's emotions over reason. So we need to get people to come back and think again. Right. So we get reason to come over emotions. And if we're able to do that, we realize that, and that is going to start by some of these conversations. Some of these conversations are just going to put people, like the change influencer said, I think he will shed more light on that as well. But if you're able to lay back, relax, all the dopamine will settle. And when you settle, you have a clear conscience to think. And when you are thinking, you know that, okay, I've been trying this for this number of years, this number of months. Where have I gotten to? Have I been able to attain anything substantive? If the answer is no, then it means that you are trying the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. That would be insanity, right? So we need to just lay back, have some of these conversations, get people to be aware of what it is they are entering blindly. Because some people may know, some people may also be in it, and then the impulse that comes with it. Yeah, betting is impulse driven. So because of how excited you are, because of how charged you are, sometimes it's like my last 10 CDs, if I get 10 odds, I can get 100 CDs. I'm going all out. And so you risk it all, and then there's one funny thing betting does to you. You feel like, oh God, today's the time. You're about to win it, and all of a sudden you realize that no, it ain't happen. So all the excitement now becomes it just deflates, and then you enter a state of guilt, shame, and depression. So I think we need to sensitize people again, get them to understand what they may already know, and those who are oblivious of the facts that these things are things that would hurt them long term, we start initiating the conversation so that they can also follow, and then they can re-amend and readjust their ways.
I see. Let me bring in Jessica into the conversation now. Jessica, are you still with us?
Yes, right here.
All right, great. Jessica, do you think that betting is a problem psychologically, or can it be a harmless entertainment? Or when does it even become harmful?
So, regarding the youth especially and their brain, okay, I think this is really good because we really need to be particular about our youth, especially because their brain is still developing, especially in the areas of what we call the prefrontal cortex. So this is what's responsible for impulse control, long-term decision making, and planning. And this part of the brain is not fully developed. unlike the limbic system. Okay, so with the limbic system, it governs reward, pleasure, and excitement. So this part of the brain is fully active, okay, or highly active. So as you rightly note, there's an imbalance. So the young people are more prone to the risky reward-seeking behavior without assessing or analyzing what really the impact is long term. So, with this analogy, we get to know that they are highly prone to risky behaviors or behaviors that wouldn't yield any long-term any long-term results positively. So yes, there is a very um, negative, impact, especially in that regard.
So it can be a harmless entertainment. If you're engaging there in betting, it definitely has an effect on you. That's what you're saying.
So normally it would often start as just for fun, placing a small bet on a football match with friends. But over time, that small thrill can grow into compulsion. And here's why. So every time a person places a bet, the brain releases dopamine. Well, yeah, it's a neurotransmitter. So it's more or less um, a feel good hormone. So, and the trick is whether you win or you lose, the the excitement or the the reason that you are actually going to win or you may win, dopamine is still released. So whether you win or you lose, dopamine is still released. So that constant stimulation rewires the brain to crave the high or the thrill of the game. So it turns out that it's not really just for the win, but just the excitement, whatever I win.
Right.
So the danger is that people begin to chase, the losses. They feel like, okay, I must win this back, or there's a high probability I may win it back. And like my colleagues also stated that these people will also compare themselves with influencers, people who are already rich, whose faces are being used for arts and all of that. And they feel like, oh, I may actually someday be like that. Luck may be on my side, And 1 minute they become addicted because of this dopamine release, and they start to hide their behavior. They start to borrow money to bet. Anxiety, develops, restlessness, depression, and then it's no longer a game. Now it becomes an addiction.
I see. Very, very interesting. We're fortunate to have Elliot here. Now, Elliot came in as a youth advocate, ready to speak on the matter. But since he also has experience and he's willing to share, we'll give him the opportunity. So, like Jessica just said, people just go into it thinking, oh, I just want to play a game and all of that. Maybe you want to share with us, Elliot, how did you land yourself in gambling or betting?
Okay, so it was this thing usually happens at bad times. Do you get it? Times when you are down. So I just lost my mom, and then things were not so well, right? So I was depressed. I was like honestly going through a lot, but I'm not somebody who processes things outside, like outward. I process it inside. You would see me, I would be going through a lot, and I would be smiling. I would be dressed nice. I would be looking nice, but then I'm actually going through a lot. So I went to visit a friend because I just wanted to clear my head. And then I'm not going to mention the friend's name, but so like he is someone who is into it. You get it? He is someone who's doing it. And I'm going to tell you some things he even does, So basically, we didn't have money that day, right? And then I had never played any of that game before. So what happened was he just told me that, oh, Aviator, right?
It was Aviator.
Exactly. I can double my money. So I was like, oh, really? Teach me. Because if I have 100 cities and I can double it, or I can triple it, or I can make it into like ×5, that means that we have money for the week or for 2 weeks. Exactly. So he downloaded it for me, and then I just dived right in. And trust me, Izzy, I feel like the algorithms on these apps, when you start, they know. That's what some youths don't know. These are well-placed apps. Do you get it? there are apps that are placed to suck you in. So I don't know, but I feel that the algorithm realized that I was new. Do you get it? So honestly, I put in, like, I had 80 cities, right? And I put that in, and then my friend told me to do the double thing. Do you get it?
I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, it's,
I don't know
it's something you do.
Is.
It's like the app is trying to tell you that you can be smart in the sense that you can put 5 CD here, 5 CD here. Okay. It's doubling. You cancel this, and so when you get your 5 CD back, you cancel it. Do you get it? Or maybe if the left 5 CD doubles to 10 CD, you just take it. So now I've got my money back.
Okay.
Do you see the thought? Then now I'll wait for this one to go on. Then I'm praying that it doesn't fly away.
Okay.
Do you get it? Then I can get. So on my first try, I won 500 Ghana cedis.
With your 80 CDs.
Exactly. So imagine.
If you are listening, we are not saying you should go anywhere.
Imagine how I felt. I was like the dopamine rush. Like I was charged. I was like, guy. So you knew this thing, and he didn't tell me.
You know.
And you went, but he didn't tell me the problem is going to. Later is when I'll get there. So what happened was I just got this 500 Ghana cedis. I was like, wow. So then I cashed it out, and they've made it so easy that immediately you win on the app, you can just push it to your Momo. Do you get it? It's that easy, and it's so fast.
Right.
Exactly. It's so responsive. So immediately I pushed the money to my Momo. Then I said, okay, let me put back 100 Ghana cedi inside. Then I did it, and I won like series of ones. Now I had 1,200. Do you get it? But listen to where everything went wrong. So it's like it goes up like what you said. I was listening what you said. Like it keeps sucking you in.
Yeah. So
immediately, what happened was, I started putting the money back. I lost my first 100. Then now, because now I had so much courage that I can win.
Can win again.
I was sure that if I've been able to win 1,200 with how I'm smart, because everybody classifies themselves as smart people. So like, I'm going to outsmart the app. You cannot. Trust me. So I kept on pushing the money in, pushing it in. Now I'd lost all the money.
Oh, the 1,002.
Plus my 80 CDs. Do you get it? So we started off having 80 CDs to manage for the week, and now we had nothing. Do you get it? So imagine how I felt. What did I do next?
You want to go again?
Exactly. So what would I do? It's two things. If I'm someone who my morals are broken, I would enter into social vices.
Exactly.
I'll take something that's not mine.
Yeah.
Do you get it? Or if I'm somebody who has people around me who like to help, I'd borrow.
Yeah.
Do you get it?
Yeah.
So I called people. Yo, I need this money. I'm just being honest because I want people to learn from that. Do you get it?
We
and
appreciate
then,
that.
People are like, oh, this is Nene. I can help him because they know I'm good for it. Because one thing I always do is when I take your money, I pay you back. So guys know me. Oh, Charlie, I need this money. I want you to do something quick. I'll get it back to you. My guy, I ended up getting money from 6 of my friends.
6
substantial money, and I lost it all. Do you get it? And it was over a period of days. Do you get it? But mine was like a 1 week thing. So immediately, I just said, hey,
you have to wake up.
This is not me, because I never like betting. Honestly, I don't have anything against people who bet, because I know everybody is entitled to however they live their lives. But I had never been one to enter it. But at that point, that's what I'm talking about. That when we get to that point, and then it's fight or flight, we literally will do anything to survive.
Yeah.
So that's what I was doing. And then within that way, I was like, guy, right now I'm owing people I'm owing 6 people. Do you get it? And I don't even know how I'm going to pay it. So what am I going to do? Do you get it? And then I have lost all the money, and we've gone hungry for over 3 days. We've been just drinking water and air. That's just, by the way, but literally that. Do you get it? And living off scraps. So I was like, nah, this is not me. So I deleted the app. Okay. And you know what happened? It came again. That's how the thing. So what they're talking about, that's what happens. I did it again. I downloaded it again. I was relapsing until I realized that, nah, this thing is doing me more harm than good. Because it's making me become somebody I'm not. And you see, this, my friend, this is something that has been plaguing him for years. He usually, maybe he's going to work for somebody, right? And the person gives him a lot of money. Do you get it? He takes the money and bets it. And this is something that happens. I had a story where somebody used, like, guys, they are guys in a house, they've rented a house, and they were supposed to renew their rent. And this boy used all that money to bet and lost it. Do you get it? And this is something that happens. People relate to this, and this is my friend. He takes people's like it gives you that courage that you know that I'm being smart. I can take someone's 2,000 Ghana I'm supposed to use to buy stuff to do something for him, and then I double it. Then I get that money, do the job for him, and I still get paid. Do you get it? And he loses all that money, and you as his friend have to bail him out.
Right.
So it's not only affecting him, it's affecting all of us around. And this is something he has been doing. And I have been fortunate enough to be able to like get out of it. Because like it's been like 2 years that I've even, because it's something that I've told myself that no. Because I'm somebody, if I tell myself that I'm not going to do this, I take the steps to get out of it. So I've been able to get out of it. But my friend is still in. And other people are still suffering the same thing. The whole delusional thinking that you would win today. Do you get it? I will win today. Today I will win. I'm feeling lucky, but honestly.
But tell us, how did you come out? What did you really do to
so
come out?
What
So
I did was,
if there's somebody listening to us and they're going through the same, they may want to apply the same.
Basically, it's idleness. Do you get it? If you're idle, you're depressed, or you're down, or you need money, speak to somebody. Do you get it? Because we all have this self-respect where we don't want to ask for help. But then it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to actually bring yourself to the level of being able to ask your brother that, you know what, I'm going through a lot right now, and I would love it if you help me out. Do you get? That's why you have to keep good friends around you.
Right.
And so what causes that is unemployment also. Do you get it? So try to get an employment. And you know, people are thinking that, because when I got out of university, I didn't do things that people would think you're an SRC president. From there, you're supposed to move up. I went to learn how to cook. Do you get it? I'm telling you. I have a certificate in cooking.
Wow. You
get to work at Kempinski. I'm cooking for people. Do you get it? I'm trying to do my own thing. Do you get it? Even though right now I'm working as a business development officer, but then after that, I realized that at that point in time, there was nothing coming through. So, like I said, fight or flight. So get an employment.
Right.
Don't say that you need to be high up. No, start from somewhere. Do you get it? Even if it's 1,000 cities or 800 cities or 1,500, just try to start from there. Okay. Do you get it? Okay. And then track your progress and build and build. So what I did was I sought help. Okay. I spoke to people about it. I tried my best to move out of it, right? And then I got an employment. Right. So hence, I don't need that money. So what happens? Do you get it? Because I'm actually working for this money. But you know, how many people are able to have the will to do what I did?
I see. Very interesting. So the bottom line from what I get from your story, I mean, how you're able to come out is that you had to solve the root issues, the root problems.
Exactly.
Right? So the idleness, you had to find a way to stay out of idleness.
Exactly.
And unemployment, you had to find a way to get a job. And the solution was never to get into betting to be able to make money. And also find, you know, like a better circle. So I'm still friends with my friend, but I don't get close to him like that much. And sometimes he feels it. And I have not told him this. If he's watching me, then I'm sure he's going to hear. But the basic thing is, it's not like I didn't like to be near him. But then I felt like, no, at this moment, I needed to be far away from him. Do you get it? So if people are able to realize that, okay, this is not good for me. And then you realize, okay, fine, this causes me to do this. Yeah. You get it? I'm going to stay away from you a little bit. We're going to still communicate, but then I'm not going to be in your space. And anytime he starts raising things about betting, I just try to evade it. Because it's something like you said, it triggers in your head. Right. Do you get it? Maybe you hear, you want to go to Aviator. Do you get it? Exactly. It's embedded. Those things will come.
It will. Mind. It will. Yeah. It becomes like an addiction. Trust me.
All right, exactly 21 after 9. This is Business Breakfast on Z. If you just tuned in this morning, we're having a conversation on the psychology of betting and its impact on young people. We want to give you the opportunity, we want to hear from you. So feel free to send us a WhatsApp if you have an experience, you have a question, you have any comments you want to make. The number to text is 0544321019, 0544321019. And we'll give you the opportunity. I'll read your questions for you and all of that. We're also streaming live on on Facebook at ZFMGH and also on YouTube at Z Multimedia. But we're on Instagram, Facebook, and X. Feel free to drop a comment on any of our on our posts, and then we'll do what to read that for you. You can as well call me on 03039 56641, 03039 56641, and we give you the opportunity to ask your questions. Now, we've not forgotten you, Jessica. Are you there with us?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, great. Jessica, now I want to understand the mental and emotional drivers behind betting, really. What happens in the brain when someone places a bet, especially when they win or lose?
Sorry, can you come again?
Yeah, I'm asking that what happens in the brain when someone places a bet, especially when they win or lose. I want to understand the mental and emotional drivers behind betting, really.
Okay, so I'll delve into that once more.
Okay.
So the brain, there's a part of the brain that's responsible for impulse control and long-term decision making and planning. Okay, so that's what we call the prefrontal cortex. Okay, and we also have the limbic system too as well, which handles reward, pleasure, and excitement. So the moment a person engages in betting, okay, whether or not the person would win or lose, there's a tricky part with the brain.
Yeah.
So that excitement, that anticipation that I may win alone is good enough for the dopamine hormone to be released. Okay, so the moment that happens, when that continues, there's something we call the reward loop.
Okay.
And it becomes like a cycle and a craving. And that gives the body some thrill and some satisfaction.
Right.
So it's like, what if I win? And that anticipation will continue to release that dopamine effect. So you realize that the person is just there, and like Elliot was saying, especially when you're bored, you just want to have some mode of excitement, like what can give me some adrenaline rush, what can give me some excitement, and then they want to go back to it and have the feeling, okay, I may win, or something good may come out of this. So this is the part that is very very risky, because not alone is your emotions impacted, but the structure of your brain too is impacted. So sometimes one may say, I've tried everything, but it's not working. It's because now the structure of the brain has been more or less impacted or rewired.
Right. I see. Very, very interesting. So hold on for me. Let me come to you, Stanislaus. Now, in your work, what kinds of emotional and psychological consequences have you seen in youth who gamble frequently? Maybe anxiety, stuff like that.
Okay, so there was one time, there was one time I heard a guy was about winning a huge sum of money, about 100,000 Ghana cedis then. And he was left with his last game. And I think he had done over 1.5. That's 2 goals in the match. And only 1 goal was scored. Just then, when the full-time whistle blew, the guy just sat on the floor. And then it's like he started talking to himself. So it's like trauma-induced psychosis, something like it's just hitting. Like there's the psychotic phase in the place. Like he was just going off.
Okay.
People have also shared, I think a study was conducted in the Volta region. Just
stay on that one for me.
Yeah,
you mentioned, what's a condition? You mentioned
that. I just mentioned trauma-induced psychosis, right?
What's that one?
So there's pain from the loss of the bet, right?
Okay.
So that's trauma. And this trauma is inducing the person to enter a different phase.
Okay.
Now, when you begin to speak to yourself, when you begin to hear voices, we say you're entering psychosis. So this is not to label it fully,
right?
But that is where the person is geared towards. The person is entering psychosis, but it's trauma-induced.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Makes sense. Yeah. You were about talking about...
Yeah, so I was mentioning a study that was conducted in the Volta region just last year by, I think, Aqua et al. Yeah. And they realized that the addiction of gambling is on the rise, as we all know. So they also noticed that people who are gambling, mostly students, they looked at the ages between, I think, 18 and 35. So, like in our class, they noticed depression, anxiety, and stress very high amongst those classes. They also noticed insomnia. Insomnia was also mentioned, and other conditions that are worrying people, like basically. So, where they stand, like it has been discussed, your body has been triggered, conditioned, put in a certain phase. So with all the dopamine rush that was discussed, when everything stops, the eye clear moment, when your eye clear and you realize that, oh no, I am not getting this, you go down, and you don't go down to your normal, you go down below your normal. So that's where the depression comes in. And there is this mentality of we go again. So if you're a guy and you have that we go again mentality, you just sleep, wake up, and then you go again. But if you use your last card and you realize that there's no going back from here, that is when you begin to think. I encountered 2 examples. A guy by name Kweku Watson also, who used his uncle's 3,000 CDs to bet on, I think, Champions League, Arsenal, Bayern also, and lost it all. Immediately he lost it, he took off into the forest, attempting to end it all because he didn't see a way back.
Exactly.
Yeah. Another lady too, we hear, gambled her life savings. She had a store, sold everything in the store, even sold the store just to go and play Aviator. And then she lost it all as well. I just saw on a platform that a guy at Circle also went through the same ordeal. He had 3 shops, managed to finish everything in the shop, only to go and play Aviator. So after going through all these experiences with the dopamine rush and everything, you realize that when you finish, now you're thinking, I have lost money, I have lost my source of livelihood. Where am I going from here? Then you begin to think, you begin to withdraw. That's where depression is going to come in. Suicidal ideations begin to creep in. And then before you know, full-blown mental health condition. If the care is not taken, you just go and drown yourself somewhere. So where they sit, anxiety is profound, depression is profound, suicidal ideation, very profound, and hopelessness, worthlessness, and all those things. Even in the hypothesis there, the psychology of that hypothesis, there is a part where people feel like, I have lost a lot and I need to get it back. So in an attempt to get it back, it's like you are chasing your self-worth. And now when you go and you lose it again, you now feel more worthless, because if I had lost maybe 10K and I'm hoping to get 40K back, that would have redeemed my self-image and my self-identity, and I'll get myself back. But when you lose your last 5K in an attempt to get a 10K back, you realize that now I have nothing. And so in an attempt to go after your self-worth, you become more worthless. Yeah, so that is also another plague that is hitting people hard. Yeah, where I said,
I see, but maybe there's somebody listening to us. Let's just try to let them understand. Maybe there's somebody listening to us who is so much engrossed in betting. They probably are facing some of these things you're talking about, but they don't know. Maybe if you can help us in some few minutes, what are the signs? What are some of the things that show that this particular person is falling into anxiety, is falling into depression, and all of the things that you mentioned? If you can touch on that.
So
one after the other.
So anxiety has to do with an intense fear. An intense fear. So you're going through an irrational fear. You don't know what is causing the fear, but you are scared. You are irritated. You are easily irritated, and you're on edge. So that would be anxiety. So, for example, you just used your uncle's 3K to stake a Vita and you lost. You feel like somebody's coming after you. Even though nobody is coming after you. Because you have lost the money, you feel like there's somebody after me.
That's true.
But there's nobody after you. So that's where your mind begins to come in, and then you feel like, okay, so this is where you know that I'm journeying towards anxiety. When you feel very useless, oh God, what have I done? And now you begin to withdraw. Let me just withdraw. Let me just stay in my house. I'm not even going to play football again, even if you love football. That is what we call anhedonia. You're losing pleasure in things you already love. So when you start losing, some people even undereat. Some people tend to overeat in those phases. Like, I'm so stressed, I'm so distressed. Instead of eating maybe one ball of banku, all of a sudden you're eating 5. And you're not eating, you don't even understand why you are eating it, right? So that is also a symptom of depression. So when that happens, you know that you're also journeying towards depression. Suicidal ideations, as the name suggests, it means that, okay, well, now I feel like all hope is lost. I just want to end everything off. So that is where you begin to contemplate some of these things. And that is also not, it hasn't helped the person's mental health yet. And then the psychosis, as I explained earlier, you begin to speak to yourself. it may be self-talk. Self-talk is different from psychosis, so I just want to differentiate that one. If I lose a bet and I go like, oh, what have I done? What have I done? I could have saved this money. That is me talking to myself. But there are moments that the person just snaps. And you can see that, no, this is not normal talk. So you need to either hold the person, seek a place to send the person, or get a family to know that your son has snapped, and then we need to get him to Panta and get some sedatives, calm him down, and then reorient him. Yeah, so that happens as well. So wherever you fall from what I have explained, you should know that where you are getting to is you're entering a full-blown mental health disorder.
Right.
And so you should start seeking help and then looking for the way forward to get you reoriented, and then you can continue life from there.
Yeah. Right. But there is hope for everybody.
Oh, there is hope for everyone. There is really hope for everyone.
All right. Great. Thank you so much, Stanislaw. We're going to get into the business aspect of it, how these businesses market, these betting companies market, and all of that, and the psychology of it. And so I'm going to start with you, Jessica, on this one. Now, Stanislaus acknowledged that when he started his submission earlier, saying that the betting platforms use certain promo codes and some flashy ads and all of that. Jessica, how do these psychological cues hook young people?
So, regarding that, they tend to use flashy colors, very attractive models or people that have accomplished a lot.
Right.
And most definitely, or it's highly probable that they do not even bet. They have worked really hard for their money. But then the whole thought of, overnight success just gets them to a place of, okay, then I can associate with this person too as well, and also be like this person. So they condition the person's brain or mind to, just associate with, the betting success with this person. So the moment the person, sees betting, the person remembers or associates it with a prominent person, or a beautiful model, or a very handsome guy with, 6 packs and whatnot in their flashy car.
Right.
So that activates that conditioning of the brain. And also, they also mimic a sense of control as well. So it's like they are in charge of their lives. So regarding other issues like unemployment and the hustle and bustle of life, they really do not have a sense of control in that. So the moment they open their apps and they get on the phone, so like Aviator, I don't know, but it's more or less, I've seen, that how they play it. So it's like the plane is like going up, and you just have to, one way or the other, make sure that you actually click it at a point that or discern that it would not drop or something like that.
Right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. But so they have that sense of control. Okay, so if I stop it here, I'm going to win. Or if I, score these matches, I don't know how they,
the
put
terms
these
and all
words
of
together,
that.
but I hear about odds and all of that.
Yeah.
So, they have that sense, it mimics, but you really do not have that control like you think. But it mimics that sense of control because you feel you are inputting these scores and, all of that. So it has great impact on the brain, making you feel like, oh, with this part, you are in control. Oh, you lost it. Okay, I know I'm going to get it back. All of these things. So it actually has a psychological effect too as well on the brain.
I see. And I guess it's well calculated. Let me bring in Elliot into the conversation. Elliot, do you think that these betting companies strategically and intentionally use influencers and social media to grab the young people?
Yeah, I would say that it's business for them. She rightfully mentioned that these are people who have worked hard for their money, and they don't do the betting, right? They don't engage, right? But then they how will I say, they employ people.
Yeah.
You get it? Brand strategists, marketers, and deep thinkers, people who can get the job done.
Yeah.
And then they do all of this because it's business for them. So they use all sorts of ways to get their market.
Right.
Do you get it? And like I mentioned earlier, in this age, everything's all about influencing. Trust me. Like, somebody would eat at a particular restaurant because, like she said, 6 packs, beautiful women. This beautiful woman that he admires or he
adores.
Exactly, adores is eating there. So he feels like he feels closer to her if he also goes to eat there. So these are so they strategically place themselves in the mind of the youth because they want to make money. For them, it's business. Do you get it? For them, they wouldn't talk about it like they are causing harm to anybody. Yeah, it's just business. Exactly. That's why they tell you don't bet if you're younger than 18 because they're trying to tell you that if you're 18, that means your brain is developed.
Yeah.
You get it?
Interesting. So we'll talk about influencers and all of that. I think one thing people don't know is that some of these influencers, they don't bet. They don't do some of the things. And it's not even just about betting. In most adverts, sometimes you just call somebody, you come. They've not even tasted the food before. No. They've not used a product before. And they just go ahead and sell. And I think that's something that people need to pay attention to a lot.
Comes in. I think that's where I mentioned classical conditioning. So you are pairing something desirable with something that would not be desired in the first place. So for example, I don't know anything about betting. I see my role models, my superstars on betting ads. Automatically, I start liking it because they are there. Okay. Then again, the people who brought bets or the proponents or the sponsors of betting or those who benefit, the stakeholders in betting, leveraged so much on the brain. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is where. So they looked at the human brain, the brain's reward system, and they thought we can make money out of this.
Right.
So now, when you go, the arguments they put before you is, okay, fine. I am betting. I am running my betting company. I am paying my tax. I am doing my responsibilities are there. I am doing them. So what's your problem with me? Okay. So they have paid their dues to the best of the understanding.
Yeah.
But where the problem comes or where the problem arises is the fact that in Ghana, we don't have any tailored intervention to help people who are addicted.
Yes.
Now, when addiction comes in, that's where you realize that we have a problem.
Yeah.
And that is why I think this conversation is on the rise now.
Exactly.
Because they are noticing that they are doing more harm than good to people. Okay, so this is a platform to make money, yes. They say you come at your own risk, and then the 18 restriction is there. But yeah, the fact that I'm 18, and so what if I'm less than 18? Who is regulating that? I think that's also another conversation we can have. Yeah, so I think in Ghana, the Gaming Commission is licensed to regulate some of these things. But you realize that their regulation ends with licensing. Right?
Yeah.
When it comes to compliance, nobody knows what is happening there.
That's true.
And I saw an article that says there are 40 million subscribers of to betting sites in Ghana. And I'm wondering, how many are we in Ghana? Are we up to 40 million? But you have 40 million subscribers. You are boosting 40 million subscribers. So you can see that it means people are maybe hooked on 2 or 3 platforms at the same time, and so on and so forth. So it's a big issue, right? It's a big issue. They have monetized it. They have done so well. The little we can do now is to regulate, enforce make some enforcement here and there, some
tighter,
policy reforms. Yes,
ones.
Policy reforms are very, very necessary. So I think they've done a good job making money for themselves, but they should also visit that conversation of how we can help those who are going the negative way.
And like you said, those in the betting industry will tell you that, we've created jobs for young people. And recently, I even heard them YEA or so wants to partner with some betting companies to provide jobs. Do you think it's a fair trade-off? For the risk to young people, the youth well-being, and national productivity.
I say to come in with that, just like he said, what he's saying is exactly it. In the sense that what you just said, the betting companies are not doing anything wrong. They're actually creating jobs. They're just leveraging on something that is there, because betting is, excuse me to use this word, but betting is like prostitution. It's one of the oldest like stuff. It's been there. You get, and it's something you can't do away with. Honestly, I just like to be straightforward. Something you can. And the thing is, this betting companies are people who are rooted. They are rooted. Trust me. They're like big pharma. You can't do away with them. So I feel like, just like he's saying, because, I know a 12-year-old who bets. How did he get on the app? Do you get it? How is he registered? But he bets. Just like, so compliance, there's a problem on the compliance side. Do you get it? And then there are supposed to be interventions and things to be put in place.
Right.
Just like you're talking about the YEA thing.
Yeah.
I haven't really, gone in deep into that. But I feel like it should be something that we should tread cautiously. Because just like alcohol, do you understand?
Yeah.
Like, it's something that someone would abhor. Someone could have control enough to be able to limit. And he mentioned something that I'm really interested in about the psychological side.
Yeah.
In Ghana, mental health is not something we take seriously.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, we don't take it seriously. I told someone that, you know what, I want to go to therapy. She was like, why are you mad? Are you going? Okay? You get it. So like, they don't know that therapy is something that if I go through like a small trauma, do you get it? Because honestly, I didn't get to see my mom before she died. And that was traumatic. And because I am exposed to that thing, I was able to find help on my own. But this is someone that I was talking to, and I shared with her that, you know what, I think I need to see a shrink, or I need to talk to somebody. And she was like, are you okay? Because in Ghana, we just say, hey, stand up, you're okay.
Yeah.
Do you get it? We don't really, and just like he said, sometimes it's healthy until it gets unhealthy. But the thing is, the normal Ghanaian youth, how many of us know that I'm addicted to this? Do you get it? How many of us know that this is an addiction? So I feel like that is the silver lining in there. Do you get it? To be able to know how, okay, is this going to help me? Because there are people who have made fortune with betting, and then they are able to regulate it. But what about other people who are not able to regulate it? Do you get it?
I think we need to talk about what exactly could be done. But let me bring Jessica. Jessica, do you agree what we're talking about?
Yes, very much. Because when people are actually educated on, mental health, the awareness of it, and what actually are the factors that show that one is addicted. Because one thing about addiction is one of the strongest stages of addiction is the denial phase, where the person is in denial. The person does not know and does not believe until awareness is created that, hey, you check all of these boxes, and then the person's like, wow, okay, then I actually think I need to do something about it. So when the awareness is not created and we don't have enough voices, to shout out, all of these things, the disadvantages and how it's affecting, the mental state of people, even the economy and all of that, it really does pose a problem, especially to our communities and our country as a whole.
I see. Just because you talk about country, I think we need to have a conversation around that as well. The impact of betting on national development and even youth potential. Let me start with you, Nene. Elliot. How does frequent betting affect our sense of purpose, the drive, and also our ambition? How does it affect us?
So if I know something small about addiction, I would say that it only pushes you off your drive, your purpose.
How so?
It's gone.
How so?
So you're just like he spoke about the dopamine rush, right? So human beings, we have a drive that we usually do things and get a thrill out of it. Okay, I'm successful. There's a dopamine rush. I'm doing this. There's a dopamine rush. I've achieved this. There's a dopamine rush. So these things, that becomes your purpose.
Okay.
Do you get it? Like you're so fixated on it that you believe that you can make it through that. Do you understand? Yeah. And the problem is, like she said, they are in denial. They don't even know that they are actually addicted. And then it throws you off your purpose. I'm just going to answer it simply. Addiction throws you off your purpose. Do you get it? Because you are getting the rush that you're supposed to be getting, chasing your purpose with this.
Right. Stanis, you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I think I was treading the same path, knowing that motivation, when you are motivated, of course, dopamine is in there. Then again, it's addiction blocks innovation. So purpose is there. So as a nation, right, instead of the youth spending reasonable time sitting down and then thinking of how we can develop an app that can maybe transfer us from here to space, we are busy. on sporty betway. So we are wasting potential. So the long-term forecast, right, is that we are going to have a generation, maybe in the 5-10 years to come, we don't have critical thinkers in the system again, because we are all behind our phones working bet. That is why I find it a little, I don't know, the news you gave about YEA trying to partner with betting companies and stuff. We need to tread cautiously, because there is addiction in the system that has not been tackled.
Yeah.
Now you are bringing in more opportunities for this addiction numbers to rise. If I am to advise, right, I would say they should look at when they partner them, they should look for interventions,
right,
that would help addicts. When you go to the US, there are helplines that you can call. It's like gambling care, so they know how much gambling earns for the state, for the people, and they know the side effects of it. So there is a helpline that you can call straightforward, and then they will attend to you immediately.
Okay.
When you go to the UK, a similar intervention is there. So when you gamble and you're getting hooked on gambling, you can just turn to them and they'll help you out. Right. But over here, we don't have of these interventions. So if you want to increase the number of betting companies in the system, then I think one suggestion that I had here is that the government should try and take a percentage of the profits that these gambling companies are getting and tailor it into interventions that would solve the mess they have created.
Brilliant.
Simple. Like that is very simple. So the government, I'm not coming to solve your mess for you, excuse me to say. You got them hooked on it. So when they need an intervention, you should be willing to fund it. I don't think this would be a difficult conversation to have over a table with people who are in there and are maximizing profits from some of these people. So I feel it is okay.
Right. We have just about 10 minutes to go. It's been a great conversation so far. Let me ask you, Jessica, are there some consequences, cognitive consequences that, to chronic gambling, like attention span, problem solving, maybe academic performance? Are there something like that? Hello, Jessica?
Yes. So definitely there are cognitive consequences. So one thing is you develop an impaired decision making kind of structure, okay? Because now all you're thinking about is more or less short circuiting yourself, like quick rewards. You don't your decision making or planning part of the brain is diminished one way or the other. So you more or less activate and heighten the reward system of your brain. So you start to take bigger risks without even thinking of the consequence or what risk is actually involved in, this decision you're making. So you realize that not only in betting do you tend to falter, but in other areas of your life, you realize that you become very impulsive in certain things that you do. So one minute you're in a risky environment, you start engaging in, substance use and all of that. And you just become very daring in your activities. And you feel like, they have a way of saying when you are smart or you be hard guy, that kind of thoughts, and you tend to start to ignore logic and advice. People speak and you just don't understand why they are thinking slow in your perspective, or your perception is more or less they are thinking slow, more or less smart guy. But in the long run, realize that it becomes very, very damaging as well. And you also tend to develop cognitive distortions, like I almost won. Next time I'm going to win. I'm a lucky guy, people have been lucky before since they are using, attractive models and all of that. I'm someday going to be like this. But are you treading the right path though? Are you treading the true path, the realistic path, so can actually also develop faulty thinking, patterns as well. And I mean, it's a lot. You can even start to have obsessive thoughts, about gambling. You're sleeping and you're thinking, did I win? Let me check my phone, and all of that. And we are worrying about, the scores. You are not really worrying about the match itself or excited about the game, but you're excited about the results, and what ifs. It affects your concentration. You can't think critically, you can't analyze. It really diminishes that part of you. There's a lot we can speak about, but I'll just end here on that one.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you so much. So Stanislaw, when you were talking, you tried to give us some of the effect to our nation when it comes to this culture of gambling. What other things can we talk about? What does it mean for our future workforce and national innovation if we don't do anything about it? And I'll start with you, Elliot.
Okay. So, this is a very, very dicey topic, and it's very, very fragile, because I feel like some of the consequences, right, are like, mental health issues that we're talking about, right? And then, financial ways, like there are debt, there's bankruptcy, there's job loss, which is pushing to social vices. Do you get it? So we'll get more people like being in debt, more people, excuse me to say, using dubious means to make money.
Yeah.
And they're going to pour all of these back into the betting side, and the cycle is going to continue.
Yeah.
Do you get it? And then currently we have young boys who are growing up idolizing this. Do you get it? So that's going to happen. There's going to be mental health. There's going to be more depression, more anxiety, suicidal thoughts. Do you get it? Because it causes you to isolate. Exactly. And then the financial side, and there's relationship side. Honestly, like, trust breaks.
Yeah.
Gamblers, nobody trusts gamblers.
That's
Do you
true.
get it? Because they always want a quick fix. They're like, excuse me to say, addict, like cocaine addicts. Do you get it?
Yeah.
So like nobody, so there is, there's going to be more divorces, there's going to be more relationship breaks, there's going to be lack of trust, social isolation. And this social isolation goes back to the depression, the anxiety, the suicidal thoughts. Do you get it? Because human beings weren't made to be isolated. The more you isolated, the more, you get these thoughts and all of these things. Fraud, theft, imprisonment. So there's a possibility that in the near future would have our prisons become like even overcrowded than they are now.
That's true.
Do you get it? Because if people are engaging in social vices, it will then in turn turn to that. Then our physical health. People stay up late. Do you get it?
Yeah.
With like staring at screens. So there'll be illness. There'll be poor self-care. Because you literally don't, all you care about is you want to make that money. Do you get it? And then something they call the addictive overlap. Like it's going to be, I'd say it will, in a nutshell, I'll say that in the near future, it would bring down the quality of life in youth.
Right.
That's what I would say.
Stanislaw, you have something to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to put this caution out there, especially to the young ones. I have noticed this, like he said, you want to make that money, and so you stay up late. Now, with especially those in the high schools like SHS, you realize that high school guy comes out, the trackers, and then all the time they're on their phone, every hour of the day. And the matches have been structured that there are day matches, there are midnight matches. So you are always on your phone. So one caution I want to throw out there is that they should be aware. Okay. One, ask yourself, am I going to bet my whole life? If I want to be a betologist, that's what they call them. If I want to be a betologist.
What is that?
That's the term they use for people who want to bet their whole life, right? So a betologist, that's what they say. That's what they say on the streets, right? And if you want to go to school and get the best grades in school, then you need to focus on your books.
Right.
Now, the problem is, because of the divided attention they give, there are moments that the bet attention overpowers that of what they should give to the books.
Okay.
So I am looking at a situation where I am in school, my attention is on betting. Now, some people are able to smuggle their phones to school. So it means they're going to be hooked on betting the whole time. Even in class, you'll be betting. So if you don't make that decision that I want to bet, and so school should be on hold, or I want to go to school, so betting should be on hold, you realize that you do both of them, and in the end, you are very useless in life. So they should tread cautiously, especially those who are still in school and are betting actively. They should know that there's time for everything. Even if you want to do that too, I'm begging you, if you are in school, stay with school. If you want to reduce the betting to weekends, I think that would help you.
Okay.
Because if you are doing it in productive hours, and it's not just school, across
even workplaces,
even workplaces, So I think anybody listening who is into the habit of betting cross-dimensionally, right?
Yeah.
I just hope they are listening and then they take this cue, because if you continue like this, you end up that you realize that if you are losing from betting, you will not be meeting targets at work.
That's true.
You will not be meeting targets in school. And so the anxiety and the depression becomes very intense when everything fails in the end. So they should tread cautiously and then know how to balance it if they want to continue.
And the balance is very key. When we're in school, senior high school, there was this particular gentleman. I don't want to mention his name. He's out of the country now. The guy likes partying and all of that too. But when he comes to school, you will never find him step out of school to go for party or anything. He is in for school. Getting his grades, but when he doesn't do anything academic when he goes home too, there's that balance. So we need to find that, like you said. But let's try to identify some of the solutions. Now you talked about the fact that we don't have a lot of systems to actually help people who are addicted and all of that. What exactly are some of the other things that are missing, and what are the ones that exist? So that somebody who is struggling with some of these things can access some of these opportunities. Yes, Stanislaus. Let me
so I
start with
think
you.
Ghana has realized that mental health. There's a mental health gap. So recently there was an awareness campaign that was launched. I was very happy. Last month was Purple Month, right? Mental Health Awareness Month.
So and this month is for men.
This is men's mental health.
Right.
But last month was Ghana's Mental Health Month. So Understand Gaming Commission, in collaboration with the Mental Health Authority, went to Accra Technical University and launched an awareness campaign targeted towards betting addiction.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's a step in the right direction.
Right.
And from what I'm picking is that they want to go, I think they want to do a cross-campus tour or something like this. So at every point in time, they will be on a specific campus, educating people on some of these things. And that is a step in the right direction. I commend them for that. Also, I understand they want to build a gambling, a bet and addiction center for just betting and gambling.
Oh, wow.
In the Ashanti region, I think that's Asawa also. So that's
also,
also,
these are not just the things we just hear.
Exactly. So
I was about to say that.
From the confirmation I did, right? From the research I did, I understand it was mentioned, but to date, nothing has been said about it too. It was specified there too. And I'm just hoping that it will not be just talk. Then again, when you go into the Mental Health Act and the Mental Health Policy of Ghana, I understand only 3.9% of the Ghana Health Service budget is allocated to mental health. Right. And I feel there should be a policy change. I was looking at the Mental Health Act 2012 and if it has made room for things like betting addiction. But looking at 2012 and then the situation at that time, I feel a lot would have changed by now. And so I feel like there should be a reform. They should look at the policy again and look at the issues currently and then tie it in there. And I can also plead with the government. I just want to beg the government, Minister of Health, Ghana Health Service, the leaders, the stakeholders there, that they should help increase the mental health budget, because there are so many issues that we would need to take care of. And with a limited budget, it's not going to go on. Another thing that is worthy of notice that we have not invested a lot. Like I said, we've not invested a lot in mental health. And I don't know if we've realized that this addiction is only going to get worse from where we are now. And so the earlier we start doing something about it, the better. So for interventions, they have started one. They want to go around and spread the news about betting addiction. But it shouldn't end there. We want to see the center. And then we want to, if possible, we should have about 2 or 3 spread across so that we can go there. The rural-urban divide is also there, where the psychiatric centers are in the south. When you go to the north, I don't know what they do. I don't know how they cope. But like, that is also another conversation.
I was shocked to know that we have just three psychiatric hospitals in the whole of Ghana. Just 3.
And we have the Spantine here, and then there's Ankafo is in Cape Coast. So they are all in the south.
All in the south.
All in the south, So I'm wondering what the middle belt and the northerners are doing about.
I think that is because we don't really believe in that. In like
the cultural argument.
You know, when somebody says somebody mentions that my mental health is, people around, like peer people, just see them as you are doing too much, you are too soft. But this is actually a problem.
That's true.
You get it. So like honestly, like you said, it's appalling that we have only 3 mental. Because I feel like the problem is we don't see that it's a problem.
Yeah,
Do you
that's
get
true.
it? How we make solutions to something we don't validate as a problem?
Yeah.
So,
and that is why all across our streets these days, almost every few meters you walk, you find a mad person, somebody, mentally challenged person.
You do.
Yes.
And there are a lot of people walking around there who are actually mentally challenged. But then they don't know. I'm telling you, like you see somebody who is your friend, he is mentally challenged.
Yeah.
But is that we don't acknowledge it.
That's
because
true.
like it's something that we were not trained to know. So because me personally, it's something I have actually made time to learn about it since I had to battle with it, like hence the change influencer. I see some of my friends and I'd be like, guy, you have a small problem. They'll be like, they'll get angry. But I'll be like, I'm not insulting you, but if someone starts being impulsive, starts being hostile, there's something wrong somewhere. Because there has to be something before the person, there are triggers before somebody starts doing. We hear all of these things where a guy killed his girlfriend, mistakenly shot somebody. It is mental health. I'm telling you, it's a who in his right mind would actually kill? Because let me be honest, we can all be honest that all of us we get these thoughts, but it's your choice to regulate those thoughts. Personally, you can get bad thoughts, like you get thought that you want to do something bad to somebody because you're angry, but then you regulate it.
Yeah.
So the silver lining or the threshold where somebody does it and somebody that is mental health.
That's true. Right, Stan, you were making a point. So which systems do exist right now? What support systems? Yes.
Right now we have mental health, we have counseling, we have mental health centers, we have counseling centers, private, public. Yeah.
Okay.
So currently I'm with Lekmer's psychology unit. There is one at University of Ghana. I think UPSA has one too. They have a counseling center there. So in the universities there are counseling centers. About if they are open to the general public, that I don't know. Yeah. So I think for the students,
but most of the people who are doing the betting are in the universities.
But they don't go to these.
They don't go.
They don't think they have issues.
Interestingly,
right?
too, you know the statistics. If you check, sometimes one psychology is to about 300.
I don't want to get out. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go there.
You know, when we're in school, I never met I didn't know who he was, because all the time there were people who were in the queue going to see the person, and we have to check that as well. It's a very important thing. Let me come to you, Jessica. We've seemed left out of the conversation. Sorry. How can parents, schools, and even communities build mental resilience in young people to avoid or even recover from gambling addiction?
Yeah, before I attend to that question, there was something I wanted to add regarding national policies and regulations.
Sure.
So I think we also need stricter rules on the advertising, the ads and all of that, how frequent it is, showing gambling as the fast route to quick success. We need to also, regulate that too as well. And there's something to that I noticed, that the operation hours of the gambling or betting houses are like 24 hours. And I was actually really surprised one time. I think one time I closed from church, and that was an all night. And as at 3 a.m., these betting offices were still open, this gaming center. And it was very sad,
right,
to note that. And I feel the government must regulate the access to betting centers too as well, and the age restrictions too as well. Like somebody will sign up, and all the person has to do is tick, yes, I'm 18, and I'm wondering, how is that, a way to fit that? Need something more than that. And also betting limits too as well. So when you realize that this person has in a month bet about 50,000 Ghana cedis, I mean, we need to be able to regulate that too as well.
That's true.
And have some limits, at least be balanced with our people too as well, and care for them too. Be very compassionate, because anything that happens becomes a cycle. It becomes a ripple effect. It returns back to our country adversely. It's negative. So we need to look at that
Look
as
at that
well.
as well.
Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Our time is up. It's fast spent. Yeah, so we will wrap up here. Maybe your final thoughts in a minute each, and then we can go. So let me start with you,
I would
Elliot.
say that honestly, like she said, there have to be regulations. Ban you targeted ads, it should be banned. Restrict sponsorships, because whoever gives you money controls you.
Yeah.
You get it? We should enforce age checks.
Yeah.
Like she's saying, we should find a way around that. When it comes to platforms, there should be algorithm transparency, right? Because these algorithms of all these other social media take data that we don't know, and then use that to predict how we spend. I'm telling you, I've read a book on advertisement, and this is something that they do. They use that data to predict how we spend, how, like, the patterns. They are really spending. I think we should be add restrictions, youth protected spaces, and then there should be education, school programs like intentional critical thinking, media literacy. Like there should be a full blown. And then when you go to parents should have open conversations with their kids. Like I feel like parents have to take a stand, a rooted position in the lives of their children. Content monitoring, stigma-free support, youth-focused therapy, like you said, awareness campaigns, and peer-based help, like we are trying to do. And then my final thoughts are like, how will I say this? But I feel like betting isn't just an individual risk; it's a public issue. So it's something that we have to protect the youth. We need to treat gambling like we did with smoking.
Even
regulate, educate, and what denormalize.
That's true.
Because that's my ending thought. It has become so normal. We have to denormalize it because it's not normal.
That's true.
Exactly. So that's what I would say.
Okay, great. Thank you very much, Elliot. Stanislaus, your final words, and then.
So I would want to reiterate the fact that the Gaming Commission, in conjunction with the Mental Health Authority and all stakeholders involved, should try and table that conversation before the betting companies to at least make available 1% or 2% of their profits into interventions tailored to clearing the mess they have done, especially with those who are hooked on the addiction. I know they would argue and say it's not their fault that people came, but we understand and we know the psychology behind it, and it doesn't have to be your fault. It is your platform I got hooked on. So I just want them to, if they can have this conversation, I feel will go a long way. And then they should establish gambling specific or betting specific mental health interventions as well. You can train people to take that up. The psychologists are there, the interns are there. We can train them to pick it up. Even community health nurses can also be roped into this intervention, and then they can go a long way. We can cover maybe a large number of area in like a small intervention. So I feel like these things, when done, would be in the right direction to reverse some of these things that is happening to us. Then again, that's my final word to be, let us continue to live life. Life is not too serious. Some of us, we make life too serious. Life is actually easy. Just be happy and then do the right things, and then everybody's going to be happy around you as well. So thank you very much.
Thank you too. Okay, let me finally, the only lady amongst us. Just your final words.
Yes. So mental health is really crucial in this. And it should be done at community and school levels, because this is where their brain is actually developing, like I said. So it's very, very crucial that we create awareness, and also early intervention. It's very crucial. And also we should know that betting is not just a financial or recreational issue. It is a psychological and emotional one. It intersects with identity, hope, the socioeconomic struggle that we're facing and all of that. And also, we all have to put our voices together. Like you're doing rightly as a host, you're doing amazing. Inviting guests, you talk about wellness and diverse issues too as well. Individuals to families, schools, pastors, reverends, government leaders, we all need to come together in order to offer not just awareness, but also alternatives, to these risky behaviors. What are the other options, healthier options that we can go for? And the last thing I want to add is we must not judge. We must not accuse. That should not be the first go-to. I'll speak to everyone that has been faced with these kind of, issues regarding maybe their children or family members and all of that, the first thing is try and be supportive, create an emotional safe space for the person. Then the person can open up to you, and then we can give adequate help to these people that really need it.
Right. Thank you very much. Maybe another opportunity for you, Jessica, just because you're a lady. Maybe there's somebody who is trapped in this cycle of betting. Maybe in 30 seconds, tell the person something from me. Hello, Jessica.
Okay, to me. Okay.
Jessica, yeah.
Yes. So you should know that you're not alone. One, and there are people around you that really love you, that really are concerned about you. Sometimes they may not communicate it in a love language that you may understand. Maybe yell, they may scream at you and be, very frustrated. But that is their way of actually communicating their love to you. Then again, like I said, I want to also speak to the parents and the guardians as well. Create an emotionally safe environment for these young ones so they can come to you. And also when they come to you with these things, embrace it and then show them a better way of engaging, in these, engaging in these things. And also if you're not able to help, we have clinicians, counselors, mental health advocates that can actually also help to as well. Right. So we're here for you. I'm sure you can also give them, access to, certain intervention actions and places that they can go to and also seek help.
Right. Wow, what a conversation. We've had a very, very, very fruitful conversation, if you ask me. And I want to say a special thank you to all of you for making time to be here this morning and sharing your insights. I've learned so much sitting here this morning. And I got a message while we were having a conversation. And a brother of mine, Emmanuel Boachinim, Dr. Emmanuel Boachinim, he says that there's a trotro he sat in heading to Accra from Medina. And